welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm John, and this is Matt. And we just got done watching Hocus Pocus 2, the sequel to the 1993 original Hocus Pocus on Disney+. And we're here today to give you our thoughts on that. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of movie reviews, 4K Blu-ray reviews, tech reviews, game reviews, we try and do them all here on the channel. And nothing would help us out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So, Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out 29 years after the original. And for most movies that do that, or most franchises, that's a death sentence.
I just can't believe it's 29 years. Like, this makes me feel old.
We were going over that actually when we were watching the movie. Matt said he thought it was 20 years ago, 93. Go figure.
I just still can't believe how time flies and how old Hocus Pocus really is. Because I grew up with the original Hocus Pocus.
And most movies just fail when they do this. Except, actually, I guess 2022, you said it yourself, is, I guess, the year of the 30-year-old sequel, because not only is this movie pretty good for its, for 29 years, but we also got Top Gun Maverick, which might be
very good.
Yes, almost better than the original.
Yeah.
My expectations for this film were extremely low. I expected nothing. I mean, 29 years, you get them all back. You get the original three back, which is great because they're all awesome to have the original Sanderson sisters back. They all look good. They all,
surprisingly, they all pretty much look almost the same, with the exception of Sarah Jessica Parker. She's the oldest looking one, I guess, now. But Winifred looks identical to the originals, which is crazy.
Yeah, it looks like Bette Midler hasn't aged a day in 30 years.
Right,
which is incredible because, that's literally my entire lifetime. And I've aged since then. So it's just unbelievable that, makeup is a powerful thing. You get that Disney money.
And speaking of Disney money, so Disney definitely opened up the wallet for this one. We can't find where it is actual concrete evidence of how much they spent on the actual budget. My guess would be a lot for this one.
Yeah, it does
especially
look like that.
There's some big scenes where there's a ton of extras. There's a lot of special effects going on. The way it was shot was fantastic. It looked really, really good. The stream was excellent. We watched on our Apple TV, and it looked amazing. Disney Plus usually has one of the best looking streaming services out there. Like, their streams come in fantastic. This is no exception. It actually looked like we were watching a 4K disc.
It has Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos.
Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, yep.
And yet the sound design of it was actually making really good use of the surround sound.
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, it was a very good Atmos track. The Dolby Vision looked great. Overall, this was the complete package. It looked really, really good. And again, back to a 30-year-old sequel. I grew up on the original Hocus Pocus. I am a huge fan. I watch that movie every year now. When I was a kid, I probably watched it 10 times a year. And I know that movie like the back of my hand. And they were pretty faithful to the original with this. They nailed a lot of the key points to the originals and a lot of callbacks here and there. But I think they did a really good job. I was pleasantly surprised because I saw some early reviews just of friends of mine on Facebook. A couple people said they didn't like it. And I was like, that sucks. And I guess we didn't really expect too much going in, but we were both very pleasantly surprised.
I really was. I literally had no expectations. I was like, I don't know if they can get back into the groove of the characters of the original Sanderson sisters. And they really did. It really feels like they just stepped back into it, like they stepped into a time machine and they just transported them back from 93. Other than looking like they'd aged a little bit, the performances were perfect.
They really did not miss a beat.
Yeah, and then only other returning cast member from the original Hocus Pocus is Doug Jones as Winifred's boyfriend, or whatever he was, Billy. Yeah, it was the zombie in the first one. But this time, Doug Jones does a lot more talking than he did in the original.
Is it the same guy?
Yes, that's Doug.
Oh, wow, it's the same guy.
Doug Jones, yes. Doug Jones is a very famous actor for anyone who's ever seen. He mostly always works in makeup, and he works a lot with Guillermo del Toro. He usually works with him. He's in The Shape of Water. He's in the Hellboy movies. Crimson Peak. So he's a big famous actor who usually works with a lot of prosthetics and makeup, and he was in the original Hocus Pocus.
Interesting. That I didn't know, because you could just put anybody in that makeup and who would know the difference.
Yeah, he barely had lines in the first one.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And I was going to say, the voice was pretty close to the original, because we just watched the original last night.
Yeah, just find out, see where they go. And this story, they did a creative way to actually tell the story 30 years later to see what's going on, how they bring them back. It's very creative. And, other than, it's all new cast members, all young cast members now. Basically, it felt like to me, this Hocus Pocus was Hocus Pocus in 2022. Like what Hocus Pocus was in 1993, it felt very much like 1993. this is like what Hocus Pocus would feel like if we'd never even had the original that came out in 2022.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way, because I really do love seeing that fish out of water stuff like these characters have. So one new character that was in this was played by an actor, Sam Richardson. He owns the Salem Museum, basically. And
the magician guy.
Yeah, he was really funny. I thought he did a really good job. So one guy who plays the father of one of the characters is Tony Hale, who you might remember from Arrested Development. And then he was also the principal in Love, Simon. He's a really funny in everything he's in, and he was really funny here. He plays the mayor. He was great.
Yeah, going after the candy apples.
Yeah. Such a little like B story you kind of had.
The flash mob scene. Yeah. Like I don't want to spoil too much because I really want you guys to go check this out. I mean, if you're a fan of the original, I think you're gonna like this. It's still a family movie. You know, there's something there for the entire family. Make a big giant bowl of popcorn and watch it with the family. It's a great time, and it's spooky season too, so it's perfect timing. You know, it's October. We're ready to rock and roll for Halloween stuff, and let's kick it off the right way with Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, I echo everything Matt says. 2 movies came out this week, both basically trying to resurrect old franchises. You had The Monsters on Netflix, and then you had this on Disney+. And for me, it's a really easy decision. If you only have time for one movie this weekend, I'd say check out Hocus Pocus.
Definitely. Sure, yeah.
Definitely. It's streaming right now on Disney+. If I'm going to give this a score out of 10, I'm actually going to go pretty high, higher than I expected. I'm going to go 8 out of 10 on this.
Wow, yeah. I think I'm going to go 8.5, 8.5 out of 10. Because, again, Hocus Pocus is my childhood. It almost feels like it was closing the book on my childhood, like, because we were kind of sending them off into the sunset, and it was nice, though. It was really awesome to see them on screen again, to look almost how they did in the original, and like I said, they did not miss a beat. The story was great. Even the little girls they had in the beginning that played the young version to them nailed their roles.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great time watching it, and I didn't expect to really like it as much as I did. And it's a real fun ride. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. Pleasant surprise, and it nailed that Disney feel that I haven't felt in a while, where it really felt like just like that magic feeling of a Disney movie that, like, you know, at the end the score builds up and it builds to a special moment. You know, I really truly didn't expect that. Like, I'd be lying if I expected anything from this, but the fact that I got something out of it really should tell you something about this movie. It's really good, and I think that, just like me and Matt both have said, you're going to really enjoy it.
It's almost like a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
Because they did hit a lot of the key points from the original. And, again, a lot of callbacks. It was a great time.
Yeah. So that's about going to do it here for us today in another episode of Let's Talk. For us, guys, it's a recommendation. Go out and see it on your couch right now. And as always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Grab those broomsticks and go tell all your friends.